From South Africa, let's shift focus now to Mozambique, where the northern province of Cabo Delgado continues to remain on edge due to Islamist insurgency. A latest report by advocacy group Human Rights Watch tells horrifying tales from the insurgency-hit region. Last week, Macomia, a town in Cabo Delgado, was attacked by Islamist insurgents. Hundreds of fighters are believed to have been part of this attack. Now, according to the report, these fighters included children as young as 13. Al-Shabab, an Islamic State affiliate, used young boys in its attack last week, who were seen by witnesses carrying AK-style assault rifles and ammunition belts. Residents who were forced to flee the fighting recognized some of the child soldiers as their missing relatives. The attack lasted for 24 hours, and Al-Shabab fighters looted shops and warehouses for food. There was a major exchange of fire between the Islamist fighters and Mozambican and South African soldiers. At least 10 people were killed in the latest fighting, and 700 were forced to flee their homes into a nearby forest to escape the attacks. Al-Shabab has been accused by the United Nations agencies of kidnapping children and using them as soldiers in fighting, which began in 2017. In March, at least 70 children were reported missing in a surge of attacks by insurgents. But the issue of child soldiers is not unique to Mozambique. Now, many other African countries such as Uganda, Mali, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Sierra Leone, Congo and Algeria have used young combatants during wars as child soldiers, young boys and girls suffer extensive and unbearable forms of exploitation and violence. How do these children become a part of an armed force? Well, many of them are abducted. They're taken away from school, their homes, and from the streets. They are then threatened, coerced, and manipulated, and then forced into training. Others are driven by poverty, compelled to generate money for their families. The Sahel, West Africa, and Central Africa are identified as the epicenter of child soldier recruitment. According to a UN report, the children of West and Central Africa who are trapped in conflicts are the most recruited by armed groups. They also have the highest number of victims of sexual violence. Recruiting children under the age of 15 is a war crime under international law. Children in conflict states face the serious threat of recruitment, not just by non-state actors, but also the state. Despite local and international efforts to combat the practice, it remains a frequent occurrence, especially in Africa. It is the world's youngest continent, with roughly 40% of the population aged 15 or under. So children in Africa are extremely vulnerable to recruitment into armed groups, which coincides with increasing levels of violence in several countries in the continent. Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alyson Grange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.